Detroit's historic Little Rock Baptist Church is going to be the site of the first annual Men's Empowerment Conference in the D. The event takes place over the weekend of September 25th, and it targets men between the ages of 18 and 34. The conference is going to provide those men with the skills and knowledge to overcome the obstacles that prevent them from leading successful lives. Here to tell us more about the event is the church's pastor, the Reverend Dr. Jim Holley. Welcome back to American Black Journal.
Thank you so much,
Now
Stephen.
you're a regular. I was going to let you host next week, right?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell me about the skills and the knowledge that you plan to help these young men with. That 18 to 34 window is a really critical window in every community, but it is especially critical here in Detroit. That's when we see young men sort of lose their way and end up in really bad circumstances, right?
And thank you for this opportunity, Stephen. We had a focus group of about 35 or 40 men, and they indicated that these workshops that we're having, expungement, navigating your way through the front of the court, and also returning citizens, transition, health, and jobs, job fair. And so this is what we're doing. The women had their empowerment. We felt like the women, you can't have a good relationship in terms of business and a community without the men too.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd put this on. We're expecting about 25 to 3,000 men.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? To come out?
Yeah, right, absolutely.
And what is it that you figure you're going to be able to actually help them with?
And thank you for that. The thing about it is on Friday night, which is the 25th of this month, we have a family night, and we have Jasper Williams from Atlanta. Jamal Bryant from Baltimore is coming in on Saturday morning. Yeah. And then we basically, what we want to do is, Wayne County Community College has negotiated scholarships and grants for about 19 different careers, all free. If you want to go into paramedics, if you want to go into MT, if you want to go into apprentice programs, it's all free. And so that's an opportunity. And then also we have a job fair. The Detroit Employment Solutions has a large mobile unit that basically will have a job search for the young men. And so the job search and also health initiatives as well. Yeah. And so it should be a really...
And so it's really looking at the full spectrum of issues that these young men face. And as I said, that 18 to 34 window is when it's really important to intervene. And I know that in your church and in the other work that you've done in the community, you've seen that if you do it at that point, you really can make a difference. You can redirect people.
Right, but not only that, in terms of, I really believe that education and a job will stop a bullet. Yeah. That's my big thing. Right? The other thing, of course, is that Michigan's doing well in terms of unemployment. It's down to about 5%, but in Detroit, it's not
taking hold.
There you go, right. Yeah. And somehow, some kind of way, the Titanic didn't sink from the top down. It's from the bottom up. From the bottom up, and we really got to start working with the people who basically have been left out of this whole economic scheme.
What's your sense of why those people continue to be locked out? What are the big factors that are contributing to the fact that my understanding is that among adult males in the city, the unemployment rate is somewhere 40, 50%, way more than the general population?
Well, I think access to information. For example, again, trying to get them through the problems that they have, like expungement, in terms of the friend of the court.
Dealing with the criminal justice system, of course.
That's it right there. And if we can help them get through that, and then on the other end, have education and jobs there, and try to match them up, that would be a big help. Yeah. Obviously, with this age group, they have some issues, and we want to basically address them. But I think more than anything else, we got to give the guys hope. We got to give them hope. Yeah. Got to give them a sense that somebody really cares. And I'm not quite sure that the church has done enough. And this is why we are trying to put this on.
Yeah. Let's talk some about the incarceration problem that we have in Detroit. Again, my understanding is that the numbers are just off the charts.
Right.
1 in 3, I think,
Right.
men in the city has had some
Right.
run-in with the criminal justice system. That, of course, prevents a lot of people from getting a lot of opportunities.
Right.
What, in your mind, is the ultimate solution to that? Do we really need to rethink the way we manage it, or do we need to redirect young men so they don't get into trouble in the first place, or do we need to do all of it?
Well, I think you're right. It has to be both. You know, the thing about it is what we're finding out, and of course this is nothing new to you. You've dealt with it in the Word as well as on television,
Yeah.
and that is in terms that the system is systemic, and we got to deal with that.
Yeah.
But also, 70% of the young men go to jail because of poor representation.
Right, they have bad lawyering
Right,
at,
you see.
at trial.
And then the other thing we're finding out in this conference that we are, this focus group, is that they give away their rights before the lawyer gets there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They
so-
talk and
Right, you know. And so again, I think that it's both.
Yeah.
And then we have to work on both ends. And I think Washington has taken note of it. Even the Koch brothers.
You're seeing conservatives now
Right,
step up and say,
right.
we've gone way too far toward the lock 'em up mentality.
right.
It's you know, there's a moral issue there, but there's also a financial issue. It's
Absolutely.
just too expensive to keep
Absolutely.
as many people in prison as we do. What about the jobs picture in the city? Is it that there are not as many jobs being created in Detroit as other places? Is that one of the factors in the unemployment?
Oh, I think one of it is, of course, we have a high literacy rate. What we have to understand is vocation. We got to understand about that. It's a big. I think that's a big problem we have in our schools. We basically have suspended vocation programs.
Yeah.
And so when you got this age group, they're not going to go back and start all over again in reading and writing,
Right.
that kind of a thing. So it's training. And so this is why we got these.
Getting them prepared for a
Right,
job.
right.
Yeah. I was interested that you mentioned that health is a part of that. Of course, in the African American community, the challenges there are again different than they
Right.
are in the general community, and worse, more critical. This age group also
Right.
faces those issues.
And that's the reason why we have a IPH there to help us with the health fair,
Yeah.
and try to give them information and give them access to understand that indeed that there's no excuse. There's really no excuse if you really take on the will to really do the pill.
Yeah,
So-
right. Well, and now with national health care reform, it's easier than ever
There you go.
to go get a checkup,
There
to
you
go
go.
get a test, to know what the status of your health is, which is the first step to preventing illness in the first place.
And what we really think, and what I do in my church, I really work with the women to help the men.
Right. That's
In
the
other
way
words,
to do
sometimes
it,
you
right?
got to go around the other way. You know,
Yeah.
they'll do a whole lot for their significant other than they do for themselves, and I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things. But right here, it's just exposure. We want to let them know that somebody cares. There is access for helping them,
Yeah.
and that they just got to be. And it's all free, Stephen. It's
Yeah.
all free.
Right. I know this is being run through your church. How much are other churches sort of focused on that problem? Again, the church is still a big part of the foundation of the community in Detroit. Seems like maybe we could get some others involved in this.
Well,
right?
I'm hoping. I think this would be a pilot. I think next year, if we're very fortunate, we have a lot of more churches involved. This is sort of like I call some pastors, and they are helping me with some financing. They're helping me with the male course piece. They have been involved. I think because it's a last minute kind of a thing, that next year we have more churches really have a stake in this.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what I'm hoping.
Well, and you know, this reminds that it's really important to be involved in politics and policy and things like that, but it's also important just to do the ground level work in the community to get people educated about the things they need to know and doing the things they need to do.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
absolutely right.
All right, so how can people find out about the conference?
Well, the number is 872-2900. There is a website, mensempowerment.com, that they can go to. But for the men, it's just to show up.
Just show up.
That's all. And we will just register you and just be there for the whole day.
Yeah.
Just not come and to cherry pick, but be there for the whole day, and you will be really blessed as a result of it.
And so 2,500 to 3,000 this year. Maybe we double that next year.
Well, you know, and the thing about it is, because it's needed, and it's not because the number of people that need help is not out there.
Right. Yes.
That's for sure.
Right.
I thank you for everything you've done too.
Absolutely, Reverend Holley. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you.
Yep.